Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. I'm AJ. I am your host today for the next 15 minutes. I just spent a wonderful 35 minutes in Secret Sauce going over earnings and breaking them down, how to analyze the stock. Again, I'd like to go over every day with the people in the chat room that come in here, just how things are broken down, how trades are found, how they're set up, what I look for. This is really important when I'm teaching, traders every day to become thorough, to understand the move before the stock even makes its first trade. And today we did pretty. I think we did pretty good. Um, I received a 97% accuracy rate today. I think in the last 5 to 6 months, I've averaged about a 92 to 95% accuracy in my calls, which means to you when you come in here, out of 12 calls, probably one, maybe two won't work. They'll work, but they may not hit what I want. Um, but it's really rare I have three that don't work. So, um, and these ideas are written down way before the market opens. Um, I'm already searching them at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30. I'm compiling them. I'm writing. I have 45 tickers. Um, and then when I come in, I finalize the top 12. I look for a lot of stuff that has a lot of gap or a lot of reasons why a stock is like, why is it gapping up? If it's the market, then I can play the market. TDD and Boeing were both great calls today that we nailed extremely well. And I'll start you with Boeing, for instance. Boeing was a call I called today. I saw the market gapping up over 200 points. And my first call out of Boeing was this. Stock is gapping 450. I would nibble some short. I actually took short at 335. That was me. I showed the traders my position. I said the stock will come down to 333. So I'm going to make a quick 2 points at the open. If I get a little bit more, great. The stock will bottom curl, and the stock will hit 340 or more today. I want you to look at the accuracy of this call. Right? This had nothing to do with upgrades or earnings or analysts or anything else. This was simply AJ waking up, looking at the market, seeing the gap up on the stock, and determining where that stock would go before it started trading. Okay? You want to see the trade? So what does that mean for an option trader in here? That means that you could take your options, and instead of playing your apples at 1 point and NVIDIA's for 1.5 and your AMD's for 40 cents, you can come into Awesome Calls Trading and basically buy 340 calls from 333. Make a cool 7 points on it. If you have $1,500 account, probably make about $400 or $500 on those calls. And then as soon as they hit 340 or 342, throw them in the trash. You're all done. You're cashed out. So as you can see clearly, I called 333 on the bottom. Boeing hit 333. I said 340. And within I'd say an hour and 30 minutes, the stock hit 340, 341, and topped at 342. The next call we did today, also because of the market, was TDD. TD was a wonderful trade again. Again, it's my trading vehicle. Stock is up, gapping up. If the market's gapping down, just to pull 10, 15 points, I'm going to play it. If the stock is gapping up, as you can see, this morning the market was gapping up. Stock had closed at 250. It was gapping up 254. How do you trade the stock? Simple. If the stock popped at the open towards 257, I want you to short the stock. I wanted you to come down and start buying long at $252 a share. If it pulled to 250, I wanted you to add to have a nice average and then let the stock run. I figured the stock would run pretty much most of the day, and it hit $263 a share within 2 hours of trading. And this was the setup called for, detailed out, step by step, TDD. Okay, right here. Okay, so the stock, if it pulls down at the open to 250, 252, go long. The stock will go towards 260 or more. And as you can see, at 263 to 264. Another one that I did in here was a stock called Now. Now is gapping up 8 points. See how I find these stocks, traders? This is the kind of stuff I love. Now, it's gapping up on a Stifel. Stifel's a tier 2, tier 3 firm. They're not tier 1. So that automatically told me I'm going to get paid out of the gate. I'm gapping up 8. So I went short live in the chat room at 263.50. I got filled. I told the traders I'm looking for a 260 pull, and the stock will pull to 260, and when it does, the stock will go up to 268 today. I want you to remember that number, 268. So I'm giving you a short at 263.50. I'm telling you it's going to pull to 260. I'm going to cover. You bottom curl it, go long, and the stock will top off around 268 today. You come to the trade, you look at it, and here we go. Are you ready? Remember the 268 number on now. Now. All right, you see the gap up? Here's my short. Ding, 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 ding. I pulled it. Here's my 260 entry. And what did I say it would go to? 268. Where is it? Topped at 267.84. So you could have made 7.5 points on the upside and 3 points on the downside if you followed it and stayed with it. Okay. The next stock that we did was ADS. Now this is something new that you'll never trade in any other chat room but only Awesome Calls Trading. This one was actually a Christmas gift, and a lot of traders didn't trade it, but I can tell you the next time I put something like this on, ADS was similar to me like an offering. And if you played offerings in this room, you know I'm pretty accurate on offerings. I'm going to show you a little trick here. ADS made an agreement to sell this morning. ADS, hold on, let me find it for you, the 20th right here. Let me find it. Okay, there was a tender offer from the Dutch auction, and I'm trying to find it for you. Basically, they were selling an amount of shares, about 5,075,000 shares at a price of 148.50. Originally, these shares were priced roughly at 162. All right, of about 12 million shares. So they modified it, the tender offer, and they agreed that let's do 5 million shares, accepted for a purchase of 5 million at a price of 148.50 per share. Now, I want you to understand that. So, to me, imagine an offering. We're going to do 5 million shares at 148.50 and pretend the stock is sitting at 140. If the offering's 148.50, I'm looking for the stock to make a move to the upside towards that 148.50, correct? So today, the stock was sitting at 135. I told everyone in the chat room, buy the stock, and the stock will go to between 139 and 141, which is 140. All right. Now, this is kind of new to me in a sense that it's a different way of playing an offering, but because it's new, I go after things that I've never done before. It's the only way I can improve, and if I'm wrong, I will learn from it. But I wasn't wrong. If you were in our chat room and you just simply took 50 or 100 shares and you followed this to a T, all right, and a lot of traders didn't trade this because they didn't understand it, all right, and this is what I do. I dive into things that I don't understand because I want to understand it. So I read it about 3 or 4 times this morning. I said to myself, you know what? This is actually like an offering. So this gap up of 5 points, I like to see a move higher. And guess what I said? 139 to 141. So if you bought the stock at 135 today, you are guaranteed to make at least 5 or 6 points on this trade. Okay? So here we go. Ding, 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 ding. Stock comes down, right? There's the 135, and guess where it went? $140 a share. Remember I said 139 to 141? Dead on is 140. So now I know how to play these for the rest of my life. All it takes is one thing there. Next one we did was Bazan. This was an earnings play. Now Bazan, I'm going to teach you a little trick, especially for you newbies. Okay? Bazan had to run up into close. Okay? You see the last 10 days? They bought this from 40 to 52. Now, in order for Bazan to maintain that kind of push up there or higher, it had to have blowout numbers. Bazan did not deliver blowout numbers. So what we're going to do, we were going to have profit taking, massive profit taking, and it was going to happen quick. So I told the traders in the great room, and I said, listen, this is how this is going to trade out today. What I want you to do is I want you to watch for a pop and open from pre-market, and I at 45 level, I was writing my notes. I said the stock will go to 48 and probably top off. From 48, the stock will sell off to 43 because they did not have blowout numbers. So if you don't want to play the long side, then play the short side, and 48 is your start. So I want you to see how I wrote it up on Bazan. It was item number 3. I would nibble long at 45 in pre-market. I would take the stock to 48. Then I would fade the stock to 43. And the reason for that is because, again, they did not have blowout numbers. And people had already bought into the stock. So that told me that the stock was going to sell off and come to more realistic where it should be trading. It shouldn't be trading at $50 a share. It should be trading around 43, especially based on those numbers. So if you look how I did it, and there's the 45, 48, there's the topping, and if you can look, the stock hit $43 a share. Another stock that I threw out today was Target. Now, a lot of you don't play Target. It's a retail store. Now, this one, the reason why I'm highlighting it is because this is where one of those trades where I really want to showcase my talent. I want to read a retail earnings report and come up with a value. I want to become an analyst. I want to say, what do I think the stock is worth? Today, I said that Target was worth $102 a share. After reading the report over and over and over and over, I felt it was worth $102 a share. I wanted a small pullback at the open. There is no way that this closed at $85. There's just no way it's going to gap fill. Forget it. Gone. It's not going to gap fill. The new number for Target is now worth about $102 a share. But in order for us to get there first, I wanted some profit taking to kick in. So I was kind of hoping for a nice little pullback somewhere around the $96 range. If I can get some small pullback, bottom curl, I can run the stock to 102 because that's where the stock is going to stay between 101 and 102 today. Now, when you look at this, you're thinking, oh, yeah, anybody could have said that. No, not anybody could have said that. All right? Don't just wipe it away like it's a nothing trade. This takes a lot of work to be able to determine a value of a stock like Target by reading the report and then telling the traders in the room and then putting it in writing where to start buying the stock and where the stock will stop. This way I don't get overzealous traders trying to think the stock is going to go to 105, 110, $120 a share. It's not going to happen that way. Target doesn't work that way. And so on this particular trade, it was a matter of a small pullback, which we wanted. And as you can see, the pullback was pretty cool because it branched out right here at this level of pre-market when the conference call started. So I was hoping for just a slight little bit less. I wanted to pull down here to this 96 level, and then I wanted to go all the way up to 102, just more range. But when the market opened, it pulled gently, nicely to that same level, about $98 a share, which is right here. After it started to make its move, it was on. It was just a matter of time before it hit 102, and it hit 102.70. So it's expensive stock, yes. It was thick. Funds were buying it, but it was a nice, slow, all-day move to the upside. I mean, it was just really, really, really nice. Okay, so that was Target. And I'll give you one more, Jemiah. Now, Jemiah was a two-way. It was a two-way play. The great Ollie, welcome back from vacation. He nailed 647 on his trade, and so did many other traders. Now, Jemiah came out with kind of mixed results today, but they weren't good. And there was a lot of fraud going on, or a lot of inclination there was fraud going on the trade, on the stock. And I spotted out some really harsh language from some of the analysts. But the stock had come down quite a bit from 15 to 11. Now, when you got an $11 stock on Jemiah, you're going to get a short covering squeeze. And the reason is because the stock has already had a move into this is like short sellers adding positions. And the reason is too is interesting because Morgan Stanley issued a $13 price target on the stock the day before the earnings came out. which told these short sellers here that they're going to cash out. These are all short sellers here. You know how it worked? I'll show you how it worked. This was 2 days ago. This was yesterday. And this is today. You want to know how it worked? My guess is Morgan's note got leaked out. Then Morgan puts the note out, says it's worth 13. But it's already leaked out. Friends and family got to get a piece of it. So all these short sellers are building positions, big ones, right? Earnings numbers come out. They were disappointing, like Morgan felt. Slammed it. Boom. Now, these short sellers are going to want to cover. You have to anticipate that. And that's what I do. So I came in here and I said, okay, traders, this is going to short squeeze right at the open to 13 or more. Once it tops off around 13, maybe 14, top it off, and then look for a fader on it. And that's all I was looking for. Just a quick short cover, get these shorts out of the trade, let them cover, and then I was going to fade the stock. And I feel the stock will end up back at 11. But today, it grinded out around the $12 range. So it was a great call to go long the stock at the open from $11 and 60 cents. Stock hit 13, so you could have took that for a quick point, $1.50. If you wanted to wait and you wanted to build a short position, then you could have took some at 13 with room to 14, have a 13.50 average, and bam, slam it down, and you would have got paid right there. And last but not least, this is a small one I picked up today. Got a downgrade also from Stifle to sell rating. And so I told the traders in the room, it was trading pretty light in pre-market. You can see how light it is. Like it only had like 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. These are all little retailers. And so what I determined was, and this is really where my talent really also comes out. I can actually look at a stock like this and tell you where it's going to pull to and then where it's going to bounce. And on HA, Hawaiian Holdings, I said the stock would pull at the open to 23 and under, and then I wanted to go long. Okay. And so if you want to look, this is what I did. HA, downgraded to sell, and I just basically wanted you look for a hard pull at the open. Hard pull means it's going to snap and pull hard, just like it would. When it hits 23 and under, I want you to go long and then bounce the stock back into 24.20 rate. Okay. So, and here it is. Ding, 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 ding. Here's 23 and under. There's 23 long. Boom, 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 boom. 24.20. And you're done with the trade. So I actually anticipated the stock would bounce all the way. If you look at the notes clearly, the stock would bounce to 24.75 from 23. So if you took that trade, let's see how close I was to the number. 24.60 by 15 cents. Anybody could have traded this today. Didn't matter the size of your account. 100 shares is 2,200. 200 shares is 4,000. Didn't matter. I just wanted to give something simple. This is the kind of trade I do in my sleep. I'm like literally just, oh yeah, that's going to do this and this, and it's done. So I made it number 13. Okay, so those are 8 ideas that I presented out of 12 or 13. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Again, I'll have another 12, 13, 14 ideas for you tomorrow. Great trades today. Great calls on Boeing. Great calls on TDD, my 2 favorites. And I will continue to trade these. Doesn't matter what the market does. I've got a lot of earnings coming out, so we're going to have some fun. Dow's still up 250. I hope the Dow opens up red tomorrow. Be nice to see it dump about 300 points. That'd be fun. And get all these Boeings back down to 330s again, and we can do it all over again. It's just giving a lot of volatility. I love, if there's one thing you can describe in our markets today, in the last 3 to 6 months, it's volatility. And I love, love, love volatility. I love it. Okay. So with that being said, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a good 20-minute webinar, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.